Ba-dee-ba-da-ba-doo-ba-da-ba-doo.
Hup!
Hibbity-hoo.
Hello everyone, AJ Jensen here and welcome back to Toonheads. Wow, it's been some time since I've said that and I'm pretty excited just by saying it. I'm just so excited. I just peed a little bit and farted. My apologies about that, but that's how excited I am. I'm just so super stoked. So, since it's been about 2 years since I've uploaded a video on YouTube, I kind of wanted to show the process that I went through with these 2 years, and it was a lot of sketching. And this is the sketchbook that, how can I say this? Well, alright, let's give me a second. It's kind of twisty. This is the next sketchbook I did from the last sketchbook I had. I hope that makes sense. Well, let's just say it does, and bear with me, and let's move along. But during this time, I was having a pretty good life, you know. I was getting better at sketching, I was taking different routes and approaches with stuff, and I was getting out there more and looking at people and drawing from what I saw. And then, all of a sudden, everything just hit me in the face at once, and I fell down to the ground. And I was pretty in a bad spot. This sketchbook took me about 3 months to finish because of all the crap that I had to deal with. And I'm not gonna elaborate too much on what I had to go through, but I'm just gonna tell you it was pretty bad. It wasn't a fun time of my life. But we're gonna move along because that's what I did. I got back up, picked myself up. I just picked myself up. And I had to move forward because that's the only direction you can really go. Life won't let you go backwards. There's no reverse in life. You try to go backwards, the world's like, nope, you gotta go this way. Because that's the way the world sounds. Yeah, kind of like that kind of high-pitched, this is me, I'm the world. Okay, I gotta quit goofing off. But, yeah, I was going through a hard time. And every time I would sit down and sketch, all these negative thoughts would run through my head, and it was really hard to just sit down and sketch. And then I kind of had to remind myself what was the reason why I started sketching. And the reason was because every time I would get a pencil and put it to the page, the whole world around me would deplete. I was in my own little world that didn't sound like this. It sounded like, hey, I'm the world, and I can do anything. Kind of like that. But the weird thing was when I was forcing myself to sketch and pushing these negative thoughts out of my head, I got a reward out of it. You know, you look at these sketches here and then the sketches, you know, in the first 2 pages, you can see a drastic change, like big improvement. And I think the reason for that is because when you're going through hard times, you're actually having to work because hard times aren't easy. That's why they're called hard times. And when you push through those, you do get a reward out of it. I mean, there's times where I'm sketching and I'm just like, why am I doing this? You know, there's no point. I'm not going to get a dream job at, you know, Nickelodeon or some kind of studio and draw caricatures. Like, these negative thoughts run through my head. And I kind of just want to give up. But I got to push myself, you know. I got to take those thoughts out and throw them to the side and say, you don't matter to me. And I'm so glad that I got to finish this sketchbook because this sketchbook reminds me of all that. I can remember November being a great, great month. It was fantastic. And it was weird because prior to that, I was all down in the dumps and upset. And then all of a sudden, life just kind of blossomed like a flower. An orange one, full of vitamin C, in a forest with fairies. It was pretty fantastic. One thing that was really fantastic, though, was I made it down to St. Petersburg, Florida, and went to the caricature convention that they were holding down there. And it was awesome. One thing that sucked, though, was I only could stay for a couple days. But regardless, I had a blast, met fantastic people, and it was just a great atmosphere to be surrounded by people that enjoy doing what you like doing. One great thing about going out there, though, was I never felt out of place. First day, I was kind of, you know, tired and nervous because I just drove all the way down there and I didn't know anybody. You know, I just had like, I knew the artists and I admire these artists, but I didn't want to approach them and be like, I know you're one of my favorite artists, and can I have an autograph? Maybe I kind of acted like that, but oh well. But the point I'm trying to make is I never felt like the black sheep of the crowd. When I was driving down there, I was super nervous, man, because I'm just like, nobody is gonna know who I am, and they're probably gonna be talking about who's the guy walking around pointing at people's artwork, going, "I like this. This looks good. I want to hang it on my wall, please." But once I started, socializing with other artists and stuff, I felt very comfortable, really comfortable. Not like I'd get naked or something like some of the people did down there. Okay, well, not fully naked, half naked. No, not even half naked. I don't know what you would consider wearing a Speedo. A quarter naked? Quarter naked. Quarter naked men just walking around. But overall, great experience. Met great people. Great time. And quarter naked men walking around in Speedos. So I definitely recommend anybody that loves caricature art to go to www.caricature.org, sign up for it, and make it to the next ISCA convention. Because that helps tremendously. I'm telling you, seeing quarter naked men just makes you boost up your caricature skills. Alrighty, next sketchbook. Of course, I went back to a Moleskine because I love Moleskines. I love running around holding it in my hands and saying, I got a Moleskine! And everybody looks at me oddly. That happens a lot. A lot of people look at me weird because I just like show up and I'm just like, I like all around and stuff. And then everybody's all like, who is this person? You know, you're at a funeral. And I'm like, oh, I thought this was a Chuck E. Cheese. But anyways, some of the reasons why I wanted to make this video all about my sketchbooks was one, because, I've been gone for 2 years and I kind of wanted to show you guys what I've been up to. And the other reason is because I want to inspire other artists as well that sketching does help. It is very valuable to improving as an artist. I mean, you look at this sketchbook from the previous one and you can see major changes. You got more shapes in the face. The features are a little bit more accurate to the reference. I know I can't show you that. The coloring looks better, and there's more personality and feel to these faces. And as me as an artist having a sketchbook, I know there's way more room to improve. I mean, this sketchbook was still a year ago, and from what I'm doing now to back then is still a major change. And it's awesome to look back on this. I remember flipping through these pages a couple days ago, and I was just like, wow, I'm totally different from where I was a year ago. One thing that's very vital to sketching and improving as an artist is having patience with yourself. And that's really hard to do in this day of age because everything's now. Like, I want my food now. I want my dry cleaning done now. I want a pet giraffe now. And we're kind of like spoiled children in that sense. And I don't really think that we can help it because it's everywhere. I think society just teaches us that if it's not done correctly and on time, then it's labeled as insufficient. And I think that we as people put that on ourselves, that kind of expectation. And if we don't learn something right away correctly in this certain amount of time, then we should just drop it. And I personally feel that's the incorrect way to go about things. Especially with drawing. There's people that come up to me about this all the time. They're like, I want to learn how to do this. I'm like, okay. All it takes is some practice, patience, and imagination. And then they usually respond, well, how long does it take to learn how to draw like you do? And I respond, it took me about 5 years to get where I'm at, give or take. And then they stick their nose up at the idea because they don't want to dedicate themselves to learning how to draw just because they're not patient enough. And that makes me sad because this person could have created the next coolest cartoon character alive, or the best video game ever, or coolest comic book, and they just kind of gave up because they felt like time isn't relevant unless it's done quickly. So just remember, if you want to get better at drawing and you want to improve and you want a cool sketchbook and stuff like that, you have to learn how to be patient with yourself. Ask any artist out there and I guarantee you they will agree with me 100%. maybe 100%, maybe 90, 95. We're going to go with 95. 95% of artists will all agree with me. Alrighty, before everything wraps up, I kind of want to mention to you guys about my Instagram account. If you guys have Instagram, follow me right here. And I got more sketches in there and also some live caricatures as well, and that would be great. Also, if you guys can, leave a comment down below. Any question you might have, feel free to ask, or if you want me to elaborate on something, I will do that. And this is AJ Jensen saying stay tuned for more Toonhead videos. See what I did there? Clever, right?